As long as you're eating something that is not of your genetic makeup, my friends, that is genetic modification.
So you who is not green, you who is not green, give us your opportunity.
You rejected me from raising my.
No, I don't want to respond to that, okay?
Because
wait a minute, I have got
it's a national.
I have got.
It's not our own show. It's a national show.
We don't even have to wait and they pass this so-called bill and then we come here and talk about it. We should have been on the streets like yesterday, you guys.
The ruling NRM Party's parliamentary caucus actually approved a controversial biotechnology and biosafety bill that seeks to legalize and regulate the use of genetically modified organisms. You can call it GMOs, and this is happening in Uganda.
What you call these cassava seeds. That's when they routinely talk about diseases affecting these cassava trees. Before they introduced what they call Corona coffee, Uganda coffee was never affected by the disease. But when they introduced Corona coffee, what happened? We had coffee. Now, how are we sure when they tell us that when they introduce these GMOs that they are prone to resistance, that we shall fight the diseases? When from the past experience we have been affected by the diseases as a result of the introduction of these foreign influenced seeds. I believe these Ugandans should study from, this is a lie of the white man. The white man uses, he will tell you that I'm going to do this when he's going to do different things. Then, the history of GMOs in Uganda. At this time, I think, combine the answer to my sister. The GMOs, the story to introduce GMOs started with AGOA. When was AGOA in Uganda? I have got a story which was written in Monitor. That is when Waiteka came, passed through President Museveni in order to introduce GMOs. They made a deal under the so-called AGOA to introduce GMOs. Our president accepted. And for us, we have not been told. Now, having the president accepted, then the Monsantos have captured all the institutions of the state, so that they are blaming even the members of parliament, or they are attempting to blame the members of parliament. They have penetrated all these research institutes like the NRO, so that they can propagate this idea of GMOs. I want to talk about tell my sister, the state. Development does not take place in a vacuum. It takes place within a framework created by political interest. In Uganda, I have always seen the state has been captured by foreign forces, by imperialistic forces. What you call the government of Uganda is no longer the government of Uganda, but the government presenting the interest of multinational corporations, but not the people of Uganda. Second, when you say the government, no, there is what we call people's government, and the government imposing policies on the people. What we have been having, it is top down, not down upwards. And they use the media. I used to talk on UBC. Now they use the radio, they have captured the radio, even the newspapers. But you know there is a conspiracy against the people. So that now there is a blackout in the news. If the newspapers, if you talk about the union, you said it's a government mouthpiece. No, it is a mouthpiece of imperialism. I used to write for them. So they don't publish articles which are promoting the interest of Uganda. If you say UPC is a mouthpiece of the government, you are mistaken. It is a mouthpiece of USA-led imperialism in Uganda. Actually, when you look at some Ugandans now have been socialized to to believe that America is our friend, and you see them having a flag of USA in Uganda. So this thing, and through education, my daughter, my son, I've heard her speak English, which is not proper English. Is the English speaking that one of BBC? If you want to get the accent of English, you listen to her English and compare it to what is spoken on BBC. Hers is crooked. So now, through education, they try to create the thinking in you, always to blame yourself, to blame the people, but not to blame these barbarians. Now, my friend here was talking about...
But Professor using wrong words. How can you call a whole gentleman a barbarian?
They are barbarians, and I don't make apologies. I don't have apologies to make. Barbarians are those people who do not respect other people's cultures. And these are the Europeans who come with arrogance to say that they are the only civilized. I don't know who told them to claim that they are only civilized. They claim to be the white. Have you ever seen a person who is as white? Bring me a paper. Is there any person who is as white as a paper? These are liars. They are barbarians because they don't respect other people's cultures. The biggest challenge has been drought. And actually, when we have been having famine, it's because of the droughts. And because of this drought, instead of helping the farmers acquire irrigation equipment, the government has been silent. And when there would be inflation arising out of food scarcity, instead of reducing interest rates so that people can invest in agriculture, my friend, Governor Tumusime Mutebe, instead has been doing the obvious, the opposite, so that the farmer can die. I'm telling you that because you have talked about price fluctuations. If you look at American economy, I don't know, you are not a political economist. In America, when there are price fluctuation, the government comes in and buys the glut, if you know economics, so that farmers do not lose. What Uganda should have been doing was simply to buy, when there are price fluctuations from the farmers, the government should have bought it and then even donate it to the schools so that the farmers get incentives to produce more. What I am seeing now, it has orchestrated campaign against the peasant. What do you see people, you see they wanted to improve the conditions of the peasants. They want the peasants to die. I cried for Uganda because for me, I grew up eating the food. Once they destroy the food, which is produced by the peasants, the population of Uganda will be dependent on foreigners. And the people who cannot survive on their own food anything can be done for them, which they can easily exterminate us.
Thank you so much, Professor.
Good evening, brothers and sisters who are listening, and following this program. I think let us be not to be emotional, and when we are talking about this issue, we should support what we are saying with the scientific evidence. And I think I advise the brothers and sisters to read if they want to be.
Let them be sober. You're telling them.
Yeah.
Let them be sober.
Let us read at least to have information for professors who spent like 35 years, 40 years, 20 years researching. And I think brothers and sisters, if they have pens, they have to follow for Professor Ivan van Sertima, Professor John Henry Clark, and Professor Yusuf Benyokman, who have been in Egypt for 35 years digging and researching. And there is brother Rulu Rashidi also, he's on working up to now. And there is another professor, you can read, Issa G. Hellier. If you read for these brothers and sisters, I'm Professor Chris Wilson. So if you read for these brothers and sisters, I think you will be able to support all the discussions that we are holding here. What I agree with most of the speakers over here concerning the GMO issue, and Professor also when he spoke about the white people, and Brother John also. But there are some, one time I remember I have a Zimbabwean brother, he wrote a very nice letter to me. We want to send it to somewhere else. And I was telling him, he wrote a very good letter and used very nice language, English language. So I was asking him, Brother Tim, what happened? Just you wrote a from where did you get this English language? And he said, oh, don't forget I have been educated by my slave master. Then I told him, yes, but English language is African. And he was like, to go crazy. But if you read those books, the English language is Roman language. And the Roman is Greek, and Greek is Egyptian. So whatever, it is ours. There is a point which we don't have to miss it.
So you are claiming that English is African?
It is African from yeah, that's why they can speak it the way they want it, and it is their own language. That is one of the things. Another point which I want to point out is we lost control of the world in 711 only, when we lost Spain. We ruled Europe from 711 AD up to 1589 AD. How many years? 700. How many years? So we were in control of the world. All the products which are in America, bananas, or sweet potato, whatever the brother has mentioned, it has been taken by Africans to Americas before Columbus being lost. So you read for Professor Ivan Van Sertima, the book entitled "They Came Before Columbus." So you read that book. But let me go back to the destruction. And the destruction by Chancellor Williams. There is a book of Chancellor Williams, Destruction of Black Civilization or African Civilization. So.
Is what you're discussing in relationship to the topic we're debating?
Yeah, because they are very well related, all these books, because they have evidence. They have scientific evidence, they have archaeological evidence, they have, this botanical evidence. Doctor, what do you call the knowledge of plantation? Is it not botany?
Botany.
Yeah, botany. Yeah, it is. They have it. They have all these evidences. But let me speak about this issue. White supremacy is the one controlling the whole world. Economy, and they are involved in all fields of human life, in economy, in education, in entertainment, and in agriculture, in other fields, to control the world. So it has a designers, and it has advocates, and it has players. The players always don't know why, how this system operates and how it has been designed. And Professor Chris Wilson said, if you don't understand white supremacy, what it is and how it operates, any knowledge that you think you have, it will only confuse you. So, GMO, it is of the white supremacy to control the world. They want to have, well, it is the same as they produce what so-called the World Bank and ATM. And there is a system where if you don't get in it as a businessman, where you go to register, they will know how many, cash you put in your account, and they will see the rising of the economy of a country, a certain country. So they monitor it and they see how they can control the whole world. If you are growing faster, they will hit you like Kenya, like Nigerians. Brothers in Nigerians, when they recorded the highest economic growth in entire world in year 2014, they created Boko Haram, Boko Halal, and other things. It is the same thing. So whenever you want to shoot up, they will create something to put you down. The GMO plantation, I'm not a specialist, but as far as I know, I was in a village when they brought these modified crops in my village, and they confused that they told us that it produced more and faster and so forth. But when we discovered that if you don't use the seeds that they give you, and you don't follow the way they want you, next year you will find other plants are coming up, and they are destroying the crop. I have seen it in my village, I have seen it, and I know it very well. And this type of crops, they grow faster. Because if you eat the fast growing food, it is the same like you are eating a fast food. If in America, if I'm correct, I think 9 to 10 years old young girls, their breast is already down. And the young people, you will find 15 to 20, he has got a gray hair because they eat this kind of food. And yeah, but for me, it's like our problem as a black people is that we imitate whatever comes from Europe. Because we have been in 300, you know, the Europeans, they colonized Africans or the black, they enslaved for 300 years only. But we have been ruling, we didn't enslave the white people, but we have been ruling the world and Europe for 1,000 years. We educated Europe twice, 1711 up to 1589 when we lost Spain. And if you read the book of Black Athena or Black Athene written by Professor Whiteman, his name is Martin Bernard, and he discussed it with Professor John Henry Clark. I think it is on, you can watch. He has evidence that the Greek was found as a black country there. So, but our problem is that we don't have a self-confidence. We don't have a self-confidence to follow our ancestors in the way, whether in plantation, in science, in education. So what we need is to go back to the source or to go back to the original. The last point which I want to raise is like people are saying the parliament has passed. But if the parliament passed a bill for the Ugandans to be gays and lesbians, shall we say, oh well, that is our parliament, we have to respect the parliament and be gays? No, that is not the solution. We are, as population, to decide what we should be doing.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm glad we've had this opportunity to have a further debate on GMOs. I think it's come over quite clearly, and I hope everyone here has understood the importance of white supremacy and the role it has to play on this debate on GMOs and seed and biotechnology bill. As the brother Izzadeen had said, if we do not understand the power of white supremacy, we will become confused. So we're confused because we do not really know what GMOs is about and its destruction to us. We're confused about our education system because we don't understand the role it plays in white supremacy. We're confused with our religion because we don't understand the role it plays in white supremacy and our destruction. We're confused about even our land and our ownership and how we should own it and how we should protect it because of white supremacy. Every people area that we interact with is based on our destruction because we do not understand white supremacy. Even what our young brother was talking about here about food, it's all in control of white supremacy. But really, I want to make sure that people understand that, and as you've been advised to read, to learn about our history, the place that with the part that we play in this world and what's happened to us. I also wanted to bring this debate back to Joseph Kakoge, because although we can also learn about white supremacy, it's not a immediate solution. It's going to take us some time to digest and learn the information. However, the biotechnology bill is right here and it's right now. And I don't want to eat GMOs. And I don't want my people to eat GMOs. And I want a solution to the problem. So I want to hand over to Joseph, because I think he can tell us some of the things that we can do to try and chase this problem away.
I appreciate everyone that has given their contribution. I'd like to say this very shortly. First, I would like to raise. I had a point of information earlier. I wanted to respond to the brother here. He said that he asked that.
Professor Ndinawe,
The farmers is with.
you wanted to respond to Professor Ndinawe?
No. The gentleman. First
Mr.
gentleman.
Joseph. Okay.
Yeah, he asked, are the farmers aware that these are GMOs? And I would respond to that in this way. Like, I would say that who better than the farmer himself who tills the land every day, holds these seeds in his own hands, smells them, chews them with his teeth, eats them raw? Who better than him would know what an original seed is and what a harmful seed is? I don't think that if anyone brings a seed from any foreign country and brings it to this farmer who knows his farm so well, his land, his soil, his seeds, his plants so well, could convince him that this seed is exactly like yours, like your seed. So I don't want us to always say that our people are ignorant, or to paint them ignorant, paint them foolish, paint them not unknowledgeable. Our people, our African people, know exactly who they are and what they want. Just because they don't stand up to say it, or just because they don't always talk about it, doesn't mean that they don't know. There's some clothes from the UK that are always exported to Ghana, but the people from Ghana always call these clothes the dead man's clothes. All these clothes that go to Owino downtown here, from UK when they're taken to Ghana, the local man calls those clothes the dead man's clothes. Our people know exactly what is going on, and there's no way we can say that do our farmers know what GMOs are? Of course they know what GMOs are. Just because they do not say doesn't mean they don't know what GMOs are. And the other thing is, I'd like to say is, now that the GMOs are here, what is the next step?
I'll give you time to speak.
Now that
Lower it down, I will allow you to speak.
Now that the GMOs are here, what do we do now? What is next? Because we cannot say that we're going to get rid of GMOs. Of course, that cannot happen because they have existed, like our brothers have said, they have existed since the colonial times. Now that it has come to our attention, I don't think that this has come to our attention because of the bill that is maybe in the process, or what is going to be written on paper, or what has been written on paper. This has existed. Us coming here to talk about it doesn't mean that it has just come to our attention right now. But I'm saying that what do we do now?
Do you support this bill as it is? Do you support it as it is?
Well, I cannot say that I support it or I do not support it. It is what it is. So what do we do?
You do not have a position?
I know, like I'm saying, what do we do now? Like hundreds of years
But do you have a position on this bill? Do you have a position that I support or don't support? I agree with what they bring, I don't agree with what they bring.
May I say that after saying what I have to say? May I say that after saying what I have to say? I suggest that...
Allow Professor. Give him the mic.
I want to ask you one simple and clear question. Are you here to confuse the people or to clear the air?
No, she's here to give her views.
Okay, now this is it. There is nothing that I will say that will challenge or convince you from what you already know. Each one of us here knows what they know in their mind. They are either supporting or not supporting the bill. So you cannot tell me that I'm here to convince you or to confuse you. No, you know what you know. You know what Bertina said. And so I cannot convince you, but I'm telling you what I know from my point of view. So I suggest that now that the GMO has come to, the GMO idea has come to our table, it has come to our sitting room, what do we do next? I'm going to suggest this the real African way, as African people. Each one of us here, go back home. Tell all your relatives in the villages to come from the villages and come to the town centers. Use whatever resources you have, the money you have, and convince them to give you that land in the villages, in the rural areas. and let us embark on a massive agriculture production. Let us reserve all the rural places. If it means to keep all the rural areas dry without people, let us do that and produce agriculture in a more natural African way, and in that way be able to feed our people. Because if we cannot feed our people, then there is no way we are going to say that we can do away with GMOs.
Thank you so much, Madam Natasha Emily.
So that's my solution.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
She's a student of Makerere University. She's studying in school. She's studying, and I want to ask her whether she can identify if they bring the two seeds, GMO and non-GMO, whether she can identify. Can you identify? No or yes? Just no or yes?
I say that in reference of the farmers themselves. I am not a farmer. I am not a farmer. And these things are taken straight to the farmers because I am not a farmer myself, but a farmer will be able to
let's have order. Let's have order. Honorable member, let's have order. That's her view. That's her view. You can contest her view. Mr. Akili.
Now, everybody is a farmer, whether you like it or not. Your grandmothers and your grandfathers farmed before you came to the city. Now, and aside that, if you are training yourself to have a bachelor in Kampala, in Makerere University, one of the best universities in East Africa, and you can identify GMO, talk more of the typical village farmer that is in the village, that maybe after he has not, since he was born, he has not seen electricity. How can they identify that that is GMO? They can. My name is Aikilewa Justice. I'm a Nigerian. I studied from Cavendish University, studying telecommunication.
You also tell them you come from a country that has lost over 2,000 girls and they're still not.
Remember, we are discussing about GMO. We are not discussing about it.
Oh, okay, fine. Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Please, speaker, go ahead. Honorable member, go ahead with that debate.
Yesterday, they brought a bill to us. Accept homosexuality. Yesterday, they brought a bill to us. Accept abortions. Yesterday, they brought a bill to us. Accept A, B, C, D. Boko Haram is from the US sponsor. Ebola is from US sponsor. Now, HIV and AIDS, very good, is from US sponsor. Vaccines, all of those. Now, when have an African country taking a law to the US so that they can abide by it and give it to the people? I am saying here publicly, government, leave the people alone. Let us be. We have our rights and we know what is good for us. We don't want GMO, period. Now, the solution I will provide for the Ugandan government is just one. They should remove the immunity they have on these politicians. Because my new incoming president, I'm proud of him, Major General Buhari, the retired general. He said the first thing he's going to do is to remove immunity. Even a common chairman has immunity. Now, if the government has done something wrong, I will sue the government and the government will be going for the case. Because me...
Why don't you give him a round of applause? That's a very big one.
What the government have done is enough to sue them. I'm very serious. Now, when you go to Uganda, to Nigerian parliament, we have senators. We don't have MPs, we have senators. These people sit 3 times a week. Sorry, twice a week, Wednesday and Friday. We go, they are 103. They go sit down and they walk away with 300,000 naira. That is around 4.4 million Uganda shillings. They sit down and what they say is, I second. Now, who is here that cannot go to that member of parliament and sit and say, I second? Everybody can say that. So those people should not sit and decide for the people. Please. Now, there was a document. You guys should go online and make your research. they called National Study Security Memorandum. They call it NSS 200 by Henry Kissinger, 1976. Now, the man said publicly, it was a National Study Security Memorandum in US. He said publicly that if you want to control the population of the third world country, I put it kill, the population of the third world country, you have to embark them, make them to start, you have to convince them and they partake in abortion and to control their food. Yes. And 1976 is what is happening today. Yeah. If Africans accept homosexuality and the food, sorry, we are doomed. Irumba, you said we are going to write a petition. How soon is that? Because everybody that is here is not for GMO. We are against GMO. So we are just talking to ourselves. So when are we going to the parliament? It's not a debate. It's not a debate. When you call these people who are opposing, these people who are supporting, I would love to see the NRM people and I'll let them give us the reasons.
Can I respond? Fine. I invited the Minister Ruth Nankabra, who is also the chief whip of the NRM caucus, who actually was behind this bill. She said, I will come. Even today at midday, she said, I will come. I am calling her right from around 4 now. She's not picking, even right now, she's not picking my phone. I invited Kawanda Research Center, Kawanda, where they are doing all these things from. They have declined to come. So, I cannot stop a debate because somebody does not come.
Now,
you have just left the podium and you are ready.
Now,
for the information? Yeah. But I thought you gave information here. No. You left some. Let him first finish. I'm going to give you some.
I also want to.
Please. We are going to win that. I will give you closing remarks.
This is the message.
You will have closing remarks.
Anybody that is listening to this, the government and the MPs, you don't need to have a PhD or a doctor or a scientist to be able to say no or yes to GMO. What you need is common sense. So please, let these people leave the people, let the people be. We don't want GMO and we don't want GMO. I wish I could tell this to the parliament. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
GMOs, genetically modified organisms. I'll give you the scientific basis of GMOs. They say they are making GMOs to have disease-resistant plants, to have drought-resistant plants, to have pest-resistant plants, to have herbicide-resistant plants, to have pesticide-resistant plants, to have high nutritive plants with high nutrition value, to increase yield and production. So they went ahead and started, it's science. They went ahead to see how they can work around to make things happen. Yes, they've been successful. It's unfortunate, my colleague here who came out, who's telling us niggers are OGs or Afro-Americans are GMOs. There's a difference between GMOs and conventional breeding. I'll talk of conventional breeding. Conventional breeding, it follows normal mating. Maize eggs is crossed, is pollinations from maize eggs go to pollinate grains on maize Z. Conventional, naturally, with the wind. He talked of, yes, and these plants are not African. Yes, maize is not, it is Brazilian, it's not our indigenous, it is not African. But by then, it was bred conventionally. What is the problem with GMOs? GMOs are made in the laboratories. In the laboratories, it's gambling. We culture, we insert genes, we delete genes, but we don't, then within minutes select the best traits and put out a product. Unfortunately, we don't test for the nutritive value itself we are talking about, because we are using markers. I'll trace towards that marker, I go with it, but true, I've not known that whether the nutrition value is what I have. I test the one who resists pesticides, which I'll spray. Those are the best. Then I continue with multiplying those ones, and I put out a product. We don't have assessment environmentally. We don't have assessment health-wise. So we don't know what is the effect on the health of the consumers. We don't know what is the effect of the products into the environment. So when it comes to this, GMOs make us to be perplexed in the way that we don't know whether we are on the right track or wrong track, but definitely we are on the wrong track, because anything which is not natural, it is not worth it. We can, yes, I believe we can make great breeding using conventional breeding, selecting best of the best, though it will take time. But actually, it won't even take time, because now we have new techniques. We use marker-assisted selection. Marker-assisted selection. So I can select the best of the best and breed them conventionally. So I will still beat the time. Even though it's cattle, even though it's sorghum, I can use markers and select the best trait which I want and continue breeding that make sorghum conventional. So I don't need to carry a gene from sorghum eggs to another organism. Do you understand? So when it comes to carrying out genes from various organisms, we have cystogenic, where you are carrying from the same species. We have transgenics, where you are carrying from two different species. I can carry gene from a frog and put it in a fish. Yes, it will work. It's genome editing. And the fish will move on, but the frogs, the skin gene is for the frog. It is possible. But is he worth it? Are we trying to fight God? Is he a fool? You know, he's not a fool. So it comes back to my friend, sister. You talked about how do we identify GMOs. Left to you, let me ask something. Do seeds reproduce when you plant a seed? Is it expected to come out from the ground? No. They plant seeds inside the ground, right? In the soil. Is it expected to come out? Exactly. But when it doesn't come out, what's that? Good. So you people came here for comedy. Do you understand? No, listen. You don't know. That's why you were told to go and read. GMOs. Now, take it from me. Listen now. Take it from me.
Let's listen.
Take it from me.
Let's learn.
One way to identify GMOs, they don't regrow. Seeds from GMOs, if you plant a maize corn, listen, farmers know this. God has broken farmers. They know it and they are complaining. Listen, farmers know this and they are complaining.
I did not say that.
You were asking how can they know?
He was asking how can they know that I was.
Okay, I'm enlightening you. I'm giving information. Listen, GMOs, when you plant GMOs, they don't germinate. Those are GMOs. So what we are talking about, if a white man sells you his seeds, it implies you are going to come back for these seeds, and you come back for these seeds. And when the white man tells you, I want you all of you to be homosexuals, and you say no, he will starve you with seed. Do you get it? Yeah. No, you understand it?
Seed dictatorship.
Do you understand it? If he tells you, I want all of you to be homosexuals, and we say no, then he said, we'll sell you feed.
You'll have no food.
Yes.
You will stop his food because you've already run away from your own. You've already destroyed your own. By the way, it is destroyed. In fact, it's violation. They are violating us because it's our culture. We've grown up when we were young. We knew that our parents used to grow maize, and after growing maize, they put off a bunch or a one sack and put it in the what? In the ceiling. They will be in the ceiling there for the next season. isn't it? And then we eat some and then sell off some, isn't it? And that was life, and life was good. But now they are coming to violate our culture. That implies that culture will be washed away. Do you understand? So that means we will not be able to grow, and the one you are picking from the seeds you are picking from the field cannot be replanted for the next season, right? And since they can't go for the next season, you have to come back to the farm, to the man, and buy more seeds. No GMO grows without fertilizers, and they have to be sprayed against pests. They have to be sprayed against herbicides. Let me tell you, simple weeds in a GMO farm, they can destroy it to nothing. Simple weeds, which our maize can easily resist.
Finally, Doctor.
Finally, I want to conclude with the following. GMOs are made in the laboratory. They are not using technology which is not conventional. And that technology is gambling, of which we don't know the after effect, because when you insert something, you don't know whether you've deleted something important or something good. Thank you. That is software. They can be toxic, they can be allergic. What am I saying? Studies have found out GMOs, most of them have been made. By the way, GMOs have been made to feed animals. It's unfortunate for us, they are making us to eat them. You meet in the US actually, cattle in the US feeds on corn. Good corn in the US. But ours here, we are competing with animals. So then they can be toxic, they can be allergic, they are less in nutrition, they can also they can't be adequately regulated because we are not sure of what the environment can do. They don't have the yield potential talked about. They cannot reduce pests because still upon telling us they are pest resistant, they've been down. They create serious problems for the farmers. They create super weeds. They degenerate the soil because they are putting a lot of fertilizers. Then also they have mixed economic effects, because you are spending a lot, unlike the normal one where you used to weed, but here you have to put fertilizer, herbicides, spray. Then also, the economics is mixed. They have the soil quality, they obstruct this ecosystem, they destroy the biodiversity. So I conclude that we cannot solve the problem of anger by GMOs. We should look at the source. People are poor. How can we fight poverty? There's a difference being poor and food insecure. There are people who are secure, who have food security, but they are poor.
The issue of GMOs is political. It's a political war. When you see some people, at first I was a bit more, I was passionate when I was asking questions to my sister there and the other gentleman. I thought that they were genuinely talking about the issues of GMOs. I want to know, I was at the NRM Secretariat and I talked what they call ideological soldiers. And there is what they call mice. Africa has been colonized using fellow Africans. They are not here by accident. They are here to divert us from the war. This is a war. And they are sponsored by somebody. Don't take them lightly. They are here to confuse us. They are part of the war against us. They are not here just simply to play comedy as we are trying to talk about. You can see they are very serious. No. When you ask them then, what do you want if you have not taken a position? What do you want? He said, I'm here, everybody is entitled to his opinion. I have always argued. There is a wrong opinion and a right opinion. Wrong opinions should be rejected, but we should also know the motive. The motive is to divert us. These are on battlefront. They are spent by somebody. I want to make another point which I want to talk about. It was what you talked about, white supremacy. I'm a Pan-Africanist. I'm a die in the blue Pan-Africanist. But there is a point where I disagree slightly with Dr. Kiorankua and the regime. You emphasize supremacy. And when you emphasize supremacy, you forget about different social systems that have developed. When you look at the African development and civilization in the past, we managed to control the Western Europeans have read about it. But the biggest problem which we had, we never altered their economic social systems. Now, instead you should divert from white man supremacy. Yes, you should use it, you should use our history to make Ugandans and Africans become more Pan-Africans. But we should know that the system that is in place, that has altered, disorganized, distorted development, is the system that was brought in by capitalism, which is at the stage of imperialism. It is capitalism that drives the white man to come and grab our land. Not that they are naturally malicious, but because they greed for profits to accumulate as much wealth as possible is the one which breeds them, so that they come and grab our land, our resources, and they leave us when you have nothing. I have to come to the point of what they call GMOs as terminator seeds. By the way, Dr. Kato was around here. There is a difference between hybrid seeds and GMOs, but the difference is only in degrees. Because even hybrid seeds, you cannot keep on replanting them. You have to keep on buying from the person who is selling them. That is the biggest motive of these people have called barbarians. They want to capture the market from people to buy their seeds and to buy their chemicals, to buy their fertilizer, to capture us, to make money from us. But now, when you come to terminator seeds, it means that our farmers will not have the right to replant the seeds. It means we no longer have any control over our means of subsistence, over our means of survival. What does that mean? I will talk about colonialism. Is that not total colonialism? It's because if somebody controls your means of survival, your means of eating, what control do you think about? When you talk about colonialism, what is colonialism? If somebody controls your way of survival, of reproducing yourself. By the way, we have already started on it. Because if you don't feed, you will not produce more children. What will you feed them on? You will not have a country. I wrote that article some time back. Under recolonization, most of you call neocolonialism. No. Under globalization, this is total recolonization. Where they are controlling our means of survival, and therefore our means of whatever. They can do anything they want. They say, you will do homosexuality because you don't have anything to do, you will do it. If they want to kill you, they will kill you. Because they will give you the food that will reduce you without using even a single bullet. Simply they can poison the food, they can give the food, and they will eliminate you. Lastly, which way forward? I have met this man from Nigeria. One of the says we should, first of all, we should blacklist all these members of NIM, wherever they are. Oh yeah, this white one man. These are the barbarians who should whitelist. This NRM, wherever they will be, wherever they go to Europe, that they are responsible for whatever happens in case GMOs do anything harmful to us. So that we should know, even now, even in the future, they will be responsible wherever they go. That's one who should blacklist and should be one of the resolutions. Wherever they are, they should be liable for whatever the GMOs will do to Ugandans, wherever they will be. Secondly, we should use politics is about creating an opinion. This is the time of campaign. We should try to find a means of the campaigning all these people. Whoever will pass the NRM bill, GMO's bill, people should look after him and make sure that he loses elections. We should follow him. Anyway, they should not take us to be one. They should know that they can also pay heavily for whatever they do, for their sins, and that Ugandans are there.
Thank you.
I want to know the last one, final one, is that in the politics is what they call peaceful demonstration. We need to demonstrate against whatever this sinister motive that is coming up. We should make it a political move. We have not lost, we can resist against this sinister motive.